I think I screwed up. I actually alluded to this in a previous video. I think I was wrong about something. I'm sorry. To get there though, to help get ahead of this, to help spin it in my direction, I need to preface this with some information. And I don't want this to shake your faith if you happen to be a member of my cult. That is the Christian Cat Channel CPAP cult, C5 for short. You're still in good hands. We're still as culty as ever. Let's set the stage.
Jason, thanks for the interview. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on the portion where you discuss Bilevel with VCOM. It just doesn't seem in my case that my therapy is nearly as good when I have EPR off with VCOM on my Air Sense 11 compared to when I have EPR 3 with or without the VCOM.
And again, I need to tread very carefully on this. I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Here is the second comment I received.
A lot of stuff written here, but I want to focus on the last few lines. Every person can literally react differently to different forms of treatment. Since there is too much of a floating variable on what the obstruction is, where it is, how it changes the dynamic of inspiration or expiration, then logically you would think one size doesn't fit all. Unfortunately, we treat it as a one size fits all in most circumstances until you dig into the flow rates and waveforms.
So why is this comment so important? It's really important that the example I'm going to show you is crazy in the weeds. It's very, very specific, but I was wrong about it. And that is that should you use Bilevel and VCOM together, I still overall say no. But there are times where doing wacky things can help and actually have a very positive and much better outcome. So sleep disorders and treatment with CPAP and Bilevel and ASV, it's all very gray area. You can have one person that you try one thing on, you can apply the same thing to someone similar and something totally different happens. So a great example of this phenomenon of the same stuff doesn't work for all people was with a recent person I was doing a PAP analysis with through axgsleepdiagnostics.com. This is a super atypical result, so I really cannot stress enough. Please don't just try random stuff like this unless you're looking at the data and you feel like you have a pretty good reason for trying this. But here, let's go ahead and look at this data. I had a client who we tried Bilevel. I felt like we were really pretty close on the pressure, needed a pressure support of somewhere around 5, somewhere around 4. I did a couple things to check that. The pressure support of 5 seemed like it was too much. We had tried 15/10, lots of central apneas. Central apneas really all over the place. True central apnea, so you're gonna see a true waxing and waning of the breathing pattern. So we closed the pressure support gap by increasing the EPAP. So now we're at 15/11, and it was great. The central apneas decreased. Perfect. Pressure support of 4 is what is needed, but he was still having obstructive events. So we increased the pressure to 16/12, and lo and behold, a ton of central apnea started up again. Okay, so that is such a hairline difference, such a small difference to have such a big negative result. So what we did is we tried some different rise times. So what rise time is gonna do is it's going to decrease the time it takes to get to your max inspiratory pressure. So if you're on easy breathe, it usually assumes somewhere around 300, 350 milliseconds from when you start inhaling to where it reaches that peak inspiratory flow. So in my head, this person's having central apneas. We need to decrease that so it's not such a rapid blow off of CO2. Let's decrease that and try to get rid of these central apneas. It didn't happen. They were still having central apneas. So I was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and increase that rise time even more to really slow down that. Nothing, still central apneas. So on his own, he decided to put VCOM in. Now I've always been do not use VCOM. With Bilevel, it is an opposing force. Bilevel and VCOM are complete opposites. With VCOM, what you're trying to do is slow down inspiratory flow, and you're trying to maximize expiratory flow. You want a high EPAP and a slightly lower IPAP. With Bilevel, you're doing the exact opposite. You're trying to have a lower EPAP and you're trying to ramp up quickly to open up that airway for whatever the obstruction is. Total opposing forces, you don't want it. If you're trying with Bilevel to decrease inspiratory flow, you use a rise time, you increase the rise time setting to slow down that. But this person put VCOM in, even though we had tried the other settings that should have worked. I alluded to this in my interview with Dr. Noah. He was like, I got nothing, I don't know. But you can see right here, the results are incredible. He has the exact same pressure setting of 16/12, one of them with VCOM, one of them without, and without VCOM, there are back-to-back central apneas. These are true central apneas, a true waxing and waning pattern. Then he throws VCOM in, and the next night, it goes away entirely. Can I make it make sense? Absolutely not. I have no idea what's going on. To me, decreasing the pressure support and decreasing the flow should have had this exact result. We had tried that, it didn't work, but somehow throwing the VCOM in all of a sudden works. Now again, I cannot stress enough, this is a very atypical result. This is not something you're gonna see from everybody. This is not something I would try as a first line, but I've definitely been trying it lately as a Hail Mary, and it does seem to work. Works more than I feel like it should. But you wanna know something that works every single time? And that is saving a boatload of cash at cpapsupplies.com. Check out the sponsor of this video, cpapsupplies.com.
Maybe you should do some ASMR, laughy face. Now it's as good a time as any to enjoy my thin, dry lips. Head on over to cpapsupplies.com. You screwed up. The VCOMs are gone. But guess what? Now you can use the out of stock notify me feature. Look at that. Put in your email address, thickboy@thickboy.biz. You can still use discount codes Lefty20 as well as LankyFall. Oh, did you know you can still use your FSA HSA account? They're about to expire. You know it's gonna happen. You're gonna screw up again. So buy it now while you still have cash available. Check out cpapsupplies.com.
Trying to titrate yourself on CPAP, bilevel, ASV. You can try certain things that other people have tried, get a totally different result. You really just have to see what your breathing pattern looks like and try to make the changes accordingly. Now, if you're having a hard time with that, you have no idea what you're doing, look, sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing too. I'll be quite frank with you. I see weird stuff and sometimes I'm like, yeah, I've never seen this before. I have no idea what's happening. But if you do want to have another set of eyes on it, check out axgsleepdiagnostics.com. That is my website. I will take a look at your Oscar data, try to get your treatment with your PAP device at least trending in the better direction. I think usually we do that. And worst case scenario, you know exactly what it is I'm looking for and how to evaluate your own data. How's that for honesty in advertising? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I appreciate that. Check out the description box for helpful links. To all my YouTube members, my Patreon supporters, and anyone just watching this video, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye.
Clean your stinky mask with some Mask Bright, available at Amazon. And time for an extra thick thanks, buddy, to my top level supporters, Doug Toombs, Jason Georgiades, Patricia Espelong, Stuart Hetherington, Alan Liu, Edward Steiner, and I'd like to say thank you also to these people, as well as those other people. Up the ante, you get a shout out. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Barely even on screen, but still appreciate the support.
And I do want to say we have a new Patreon supporter. They picked a random dollar amount to donate every month. I do appreciate that. I love the randomness. I don't know what it means. Is it like the combination of something? Is it your social security number? I don't know what it is, but it's a random number. But I do appreciate it.